Hi, Rachel. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thursday. I have to look at the date today. April 23rd. What? What is going on? What's going on here?
Life.
Yeah, life. Yeah, sun goes up, sun goes down,
Yeah.
some sort of earth rotation. Yeah, something like that. And here we are. Another Thursday. Wow.
And what's for
So,
dinner podcast?
yeah, woohoo! Yes. And Rachel, we've been talking about mixing it up, changing it up because the season's changing. We had some beautiful weather. Now it's a little more chilly, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. I still am enjoying. I mean, this morning, the walk this morning, I was out there at 6:15. It was just it was just perfect.
Yeah.
It's the perfect amount of cool on my face.
Mm-hmm.
It's so invigorating. It was fresh air. There was a little moisture in it. I mean, I just can't. I know. I just can't say enough about how exquisite I felt
Mm-hmm.
being outside walking this morning.
I think that's what's so misleading about the spring in Oregon and the weather we get is you look out the window and it looks ugly. It's
Yeah,
gray. It's right. It's there's oftentimes that cloud that just is like bright and kind of blinding cloud cover. It doesn't look inviting, but when you are out there, it's a very different thing. The experience of the air
yeah,
and all the birds singing, and
yeah.
oftentimes I'm bundled up thinking it's going to be, winter blast, and I'm shedding all my
Right.
layers once
Yeah,
I get walking because it's much warmer than or the sun might
yeah,
peek out,
yes,
so
that's
I think
right.
it's a surprise what spring
Yeah,
does.
it was
Yeah.
just beautiful, and the green was green. The greens
Oh,
were just green.
yeah.
Yeah, I ran into the little chickens, little chicken with little chicks. They were,
Oh.
yeah, it was, it was great.
Hmm.
So yeah, we're talking about some of the barriers, right, that keep us from, like you said, you're looking outside and it doesn't look great, so you don't go. So
Right.
you tell yourself a story like it's too cold out there.
Hmm.
I'm gonna freeze. And
Yeah.
yeah, so we last week we covered a few of the stories that we tell ourselves that kind
Hmm.
of keep us from doing what we know is good for our health, and we have the knowledge,
Yeah.
yeah, but the doing is the thing, right?
Yeah, most people have knowledge that exercise or movement is good for them in some way or another. Maybe they're
Mhm,
thinking about it for their mood. It enhances their mood. It helps them feel better, less depressed.
mhm,
It gives them a chance to clear their mind. I'm going to go for a walk.
mhm,
I got to clear my
mhm,
mind.
mhm.
Um, that those are things I remember hearing my grandparents and aunties and uncles saying. So
Mhm,
this is like
mhm.
long wisdom. We know it's good for
Right,
maybe our blood sugars or our blood
right.
pressure or our
Yeah.
cholesterol.
So
We
many things.
so
Yeah.
many things. It's not for lack of knowing. No one is missing. There's nothing we can say here today or ever about the benefits of exercise that people are going to say. I mean, there might be some little nuances,
Yeah.
but
I'm going to just stop you
yeah.
right there because I just learned a couple of things. And maybe we've said this before on this during our time together, but I think it's worth repeating because I think it's just fascinating.
Yeah.
But because I just gave a talk about cognitive decline
Yes.
and that it's a lifestyle mismatch kind of a deal, not necessarily a genetic, this is what's happening to
Right.
you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but and there's so many things about lifestyle that we are talking about that protect and build the brain. And the
Hmm.
biggest lever that we can pull to decrease cognitive decline as we age is exercise. And
Mm.
what's the best exercise? It's whatever exercise you will do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's different things. There's studies about aerobics that show it
Mhm.
increases the size of your hippocampus. That's your main memory center.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and yeah, different kinds of like coordinated movement sort of exercise, like a pickleball or badminton or dancing.
Yes.
That helps your brain in lots of different ways. And then this it actually exercise like walking and things like that clears amyloid. That's the sticky protein that kind of
Yes.
builds up
Hmm.
and is one of the factors, not the only thing, but it's one of the factors involved in developing Alzheimer's disease. So exercise kind of clears that out of your brain. It also increases lactate, which crosses the blood-brain barrier, and it increases BDNF, which is like miracle grow for your brain. So, I mean, yeah. So in addition to all these risk factors for chronic disease, you're right, like increasing your HDL, like, keeping your blood pressure in check, like helping your blood sugar, like helping your mood. In addition to all those awesome benefits you have, keeping your muscle mass, keeping your bone mass, in addition to all of those benefits that help delay chronic disease, it has independent of all those things, it directly affects the brain in so many ways. So anyway, I just had to say that because I just did.
Yeah. And I was going to say, we can't tell you anything you don't know. You probably, all those listeners, you know why you should exercise, that it's good for you. So I guess when I'm going to reframe what I was going to say is people know it's good for you.
Yeah.
Does anybody know that it's not good for you? Probably, unless you've been living under a rock. you don't think it's bad for you, right? Know it's good for you and you should do it. But I do, and so in coaching, there's always this delicate balance between does someone need more information? Do they need help understanding something more?
Right.
And that's why they haven't done the thing they say they're going to do. That's why they haven't chosen these healthy options. They don't really know. And sometimes that's true, where they need a little more information. But like you, I find things like this fascinating, and it increases my value that I put on walking. So while I know it's good for me, period, just a blanket statement, when I learn more about the nuances of the ways it's good for me, it increases my motivation to want to tap into that. I don't think anybody wants dementia. Certainly not early onset. Certainly, there's a lot of that in the news and family members, and it's a devastating, debilitating disease. And I hear a lot of motivation from a lot of the clients I work with who want to prevent that, who want to avoid it. They're afraid, and they're kind of scrambling, wondering. And what you said earlier was so great, that it's less and less about our genetics and what happened to our parents, and more about that lifestyle mismatch, that we are not doing the things in our lifestyle that help prevent it.
Yeah. So, right. And it's true that I don't always need more information. I need more, just figuring out how to do it. And so, somewhere between knowing and doing, there's all these stories or thoughts or, narratives that are going on in my brain that sometimes I'm not even aware of. I think the first step is kind of paying attention to all these thoughts that are rolling around in your brain.
Yeah. The knowing and the doing gap is probably true for most of our health habits. Most of the health journey is not, there's knowing, and then there's doing, and there's this big gap in between. And how can we fill the gap? How can we, cross that bridge?
Bridge the gap.
Yeah. And I think we might talk about that more next week. So tune in again, because I think next week we'll talk more about, well, then what do you do once you recognize?
Right.
Knowing and recognizing the stories. So we identified some of those last week. What are some other ones that we had on our list that we didn't talk about?
I think a big one is, and I don't think we talked about this last week, but correct me if I'm wrong. Especially with a lot of the people I'm working with, they're coming in with like really bad arthritis in their knees or hips and stuff, and they just have the idea that if I walk, I'm going to make my pain worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to hurt.
It's going to hurt.
And that the pain that I feel is my body telling me, don't move.
Right.
Don't walk.
Right. Yeah.
And so how do we address that? Because pain is certainly scary, and it can be, it can decrease a person's quality of life for sure. I always just think back to motion is lotion.
Right. Yeah, motion is lotion. And there are certain kinds of pain that you don't want to ignore or sweep under the rug. I mean, obviously, if you have a big old abscess in your mouth, and it's causing pain, you got to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
And there are certain things you don't want to do. But yes, for the most part, I mean, like though the pain in our joints, for the most part, unless you're
Mhm.
fractured something, okay, yeah, for the most part, it is improved with, like you said,
Yeah.
motion. Motion
Yeah.
is lotion, and at least it's not made worse. We're not going to
Right.
make the arthritis any worse by moving.
Yeah, there's even questions in some of the literature about whether or not what is causing arthritis.
Mhm.
We believe, like my old story told me that it was from using it. If you
Yeah,
overuse
wear and
something,
tear, wear and tear, wear and tear.
wear and tear. I've heard some questions about that in some of the literature. Is that actually true? Do we have a misunderstanding of what arthritis is and when it's hard, what in the joints is damaging, what isn't damaging?
Mhm.
But I think, yeah, so getting it addressed, if you know exactly what the pain is, get it addressed, check with your doctor, find out what would they say about it. What's the recommendation? Yeah, you should stay off of that, or you should probably move more. You're going to feel better if you move more. What's your
Mhm.
physical therapist saying? And maybe some self experimentation. What happens when you do go out for a walk and you walk longer than, the initial pain that you're a little stiff,
Mhm.
ugh, then what? And what
Mhm.
happens if you walk a little bit
Yeah.
longer, you
Right.
know?
You loosen up. Yeah. Yeah. The movement is easier. Yeah. It gets more fluid. That's
Right.
It's so true. Because the other thing I was thinking is, in today's era of my chart, and you can see
Hmm.
even the X-ray or the X-ray image, and it look,
Right.
you read the impression, and and it looks like your knee is annihilated, you know,
Yeah.
and so and sometimes, it's sometimes we get this idea that it is so bad that anything
Yeah.
I do is going to make it worse, and it's not necessarily true that the picture
Hmm.
correlates with the clinical experience. So we
Hmm.
kind of blow things up in our brain. And I'm not saying that arthritis doesn't hurt, or there are some things that, yeah, you really want to listen to your body and don't do that. But for the most part, with run of the mill arthritis, movement helps.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just that aging stiffness, that's not necessarily
Mhm.
arthritis. It's not necessarily an injury. You just kind of, I feel it. I wake up in the morning and it's like, ready, you know, like I have to
Crunch,
like,
crunch, 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 crunch.
yeah, like and then once I get the initial go, all systems go. So there is some, and if I sit too long, I feel really crickety, right? Stand up and ooh, my hip feels a little achy. I get to moving. Ah, look at that. My hip feels great. So yeah, so that's one of those stories.
Mhm.
Another one I thought, and this goes along with that is I'll hurt myself.
Mm.
Like if I start to do something and I don't,
Mhm.
and I'm not used to doing that, whether
Mhm.
it's walking, lifting weights, trying a pickleball, I'm going to get hurt.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's so true, because maybe you did get hurt once upon a time. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I've twisted my ankle, whatever. Um, so and you're gonna I'm just gonna twist it again. So you kind of have that, so yeah, kind of that idea in your brain that is gonna that I'm gonna injure myself if I do
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
those are scary languages for your brain to hear. I'm going to get
Mhm.
hurt. And
Mhm.
that's the last thing the brain wants to hear. So it shuts that down. It
Mhm.
shuts down the motivation path to that
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
feels a little like dangerous.
Mhm.
And it's a closed-minded statement. I'm going to get hurt, or this will hurt, or I will hurt myself.
Rachel, that's exactly why I haven't ever tried jumping out of a plane.
Because your brain says, no, death, impending doom, not a good idea. Yeah. You're not an adrenaline junkie, it turns out.
No,
No.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm really
Mhm.
not.
But my guess is if you had jumped out of the plane many times, you'd have a confidence to do it. You'd have a
Sure.
skill set, or if you had gone to training for it, or you were, so many of these things that we do. So if I look in my past and I say I've gotten hurt before, maybe we can evaluate what was I doing, what
Yeah.
happened, how did I get
Mhm.
hurt, why do I think I got hurt, what would I do differently next
Right.
time, what could I do differently,
Yes.
what was missing, what
Yeah.
could I change this time around.
Yeah. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. For example, I'll just use myself, I do want to get back on the tennis court.
Mhm.
And, maybe I've shared, I used to play tennis all the time and I love tennis. But and somebody invited me to join their club and there was a free lesson and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just kind of thinking of all these things that are keeping me from doing that. And one of them is I'm afraid I'm going to hurt my shoulder because I've had 2 shoulder surgeries and things like that.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to hurt my shoulder again. And so it's real. It's
Mhm.
real.
Mhm.
And then, but if I stay in that curiosity mindset, then I'm like, okay, that's happened. You have excellent shoulder range of motion. And right now, maybe could you do a couple of exercises to strengthen your shoulder to get
Mm.
yourself ready for tennis? And do you have to go play 3 sets from the
Right.
beginning? Yeah. I
Right.
mean, could you start off with just hitting the ball around for 30
Mhm.
minutes?
Mhm.
See how it
Right.
goes? Yeah. Mhm.
I love how you said that. If I stay in the curiosity mindset a minute, and I saw your eyes switching back and forth, you were telling the story of being injured, and then you went, "But if I," and your whole
Mhm.
body shifted. You looked a different
Mhm.
direction. You
Mhm.
started to go, well, and
Mhm.
because I heard you say, I love tennis. I used to play it a
Mhm.
lot. I'd like to get back to it. So there's that kind of inner conflict. I want to, but I'm a little bit afraid. And
Mhm.
then your wise mind came up with potential pathways to there.
Yeah.
Maybe I never play 3 sets again at a time.
Mhm.
Maybe what my tennis life looks like today is going to
Mhm.
be a whole new written story. It will be a whole
Mhm.
new version. But if I still want to do it without getting injured, maybe it needs to look differently.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what if, for someone else who's listening who feels like they're not willing to risk it, maybe tennis is a thing of the old, and
Mhm.
you're looking at a Zumba now, right?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
risk to your shoulder. So maybe it's a total shift to some other kind of
Exactly.
movement.
Yeah. It doesn't mean all exercise is out. It means that was fun and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And thank you, body, for
Mhm.
getting me through that. And now let's try something different.
Try something different. Try something
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is
Mhm.
also incidentally good for the brain when it's
Mm.
novel and
Mm.
interesting. When our brain has to work to learn a new game or a new
Yeah, that's right.
new moves or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially dance moves, Rachel.
I know. So that, yeah, when
Especially
you were mentioning that,
yeah.
it's having to learn a movement, but also
Mhm.
connected with music. There's something that our
Mhm.
brain does with music,
Right.
and then
Mhm.
also the social piece of it. I mean,
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
clicking off some big cognitive
Yes.
boxes
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. It's coordinating
Mhm.
hand, eye, hand or
Cross body.
eye, foot. Yeah. Body proprioception, where we are in space.
Yeah.
We're keeping a rhythm. We're listening. We're looking. We're watching. Yeah. So many things and the
Yeah.
social connection. Yeah. So it was great. I relearned I think I've learned this before, the electric slide
Oh,
yesterday.
so good. It's so fun.
Yeah, we should start a few. We should start a few little, yeah, dance lessons here at Oregon Weight and Wellness. Give
Ooh.
me gives me an idea.
Right, me too, because it's
Yeah,
so fun.
yeah.
And it's always a good time. And then,
Mhm,
30 minutes or an hour goes by and you don't even realize you've been
mhm.
moving your body so long and sweating and having
Yeah,
fun. And yeah.
yeah,
Speaking of
yeah.
sweating, that's another thing people oftentimes, there's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many. I don't like to be sweaty.
Oh, I have heard this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Or
don't like
sweating
it.
is gross or
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's so interesting because I mean, even in, just thinking through this, I don't mind sweating in the morning. But yeah, once I take I don't want to sweat anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is so interesting. Um,
Mhm.
just to think through.
Mhm.
And what is it about? Can you like not take a shower anymore during that? I mean, what,
Right.
what's the big deal about sweating? And is it that you're
What's
going to, yeah.
what's the story that's
Mhm.
underlying the story?
Mhm. Yeah. What's the story? The
Yeah.
story. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
we'll
a good one.
explore that more next week because there's there could be additional
Mhm.
you
Right.
address the whole thing, right? Is it just a timing of the day thing? So that's
Hmm.
one path to solving that problem.
Right.
Is it a underlying story about what sweat is or
Yeah.
what sweat does to you or
Mm.
what sweat means?
Mm.
Um, or is there a tactile thing like it's a very
Mhm. Right.
uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
So lots of
Or is it
different
a body odor thing?
right, right. I mean, yeah, for most everybody, it probably is. Some more than others, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, do I know how to lessen that or mitigate
Right.
that?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I don't
Interesting.
know. What are some other stories? What are
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit last time. Like, what if I look silly doing it? I
mhm.
remember one time when I decided that I was going to exercise on my front porch because that's where the sun was in the morning, I was just, it was the barrier was, people drive by and they're
Yeah.
going to see me, and I'm going to look like a fool. Uh,
Right. Right.
Yeah, and so I'm like mind reading. I know what people think,
Right.
Rachel.
And
Yeah.
that it matters. And that yeah. Yeah. And I'm thinking you're going to entertain them. They're going to get a big laugh. They're going to drive to work happy. You're making the world a better place.
That's right.
That's right.
Exercising, they're gonna be so impressed. Like, oh,
Oh
look at that woman. She's exercising. She can't move but she's doing it. Good for
yeah. If she
her.
can do it, I can do it.
If she can do, yeah,
Right.
I'm being inspiration.
And
That's right.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Another thing along those lines is I don't have the right clothes. So
Oh,
looking,
right.
like
Mhm.
maybe you really do need a new pair of shoes, or maybe you just feel like you're supposed to have the
Mm,
fanciest shoes or the coolest
right.
new workout outfit, right? So
Yeah.
do you really need stuff and you just literally don't have it? If you want to swim,
Uh-huh.
you do need a swimsuit, right? Um,
Please.
or is it please? Yeah, depending on what beach you're going to, I suppose.
Right. Right.
Um, but are you also feeling like you're holding yourself back from not having the coolest or cutest
Sure.
or
Yes.
nicest type of workout
Yes. Yeah.
or yeah,
It's amazing those little things that run through our brain.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Or maybe the story is, well, I can't afford to join a gym,
Hmm.
and so we're stuck that exercise means going to the gym,
Right.
and that's what exercise looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Another
that's
one
another.
is I'm not athletic or I'm not the
Oh,
kind of person who
never been athletic.
exercises.
Right.
Right? Or
Yeah.
even I like to be sedentary and I want that type of lifestyle. So, what good is exercise? Why would I
Right.
move if I don't ever want to move in that way?
Right. Yeah. That I'll have to keep doing this,
Yeah.
and I don't even want to do it to begin with.
Yeah.
Right.
If I don't ever plan on walking every day, why
Mhm.
walk? Right. I mean,
Right.
um,
Yeah, no, I've heard this. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind
Mhm.
of putting exercise in a box. Like the only reason we do it is the only
Mhm.
reason people walk is so that they can maybe start to run at some point, or the only
Mhm.
reason people,
Yeah,
um, walk is so that they can hike a mountain. But if you don't care
right,
about hiking mountains, then
right.
and if you don't
Yeah,
ever lift heavy things, why do you need to do strength training if you
yeah,
don't?
yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I see that quite a bit.
Mhm.
Mhm. Right. We kinda have those limiting beliefs, and we sometimes it's hard to get out of our head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So we will address maybe even a few more next week, but then certainly start to
Mhm.
talk more about how do we close the gap.
Yes.
If you're listening and you're hearing these stories, and you're going, yeah, that's me. I say that, or I totally feel that way, or
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I feel stuck. Then tune in next week because we're going to talk
Yeah.
more about that.
Yeah, getting unstuck. So
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah.
so good. All right, Rachel. Well, tell us what's for dinner.
Ooh, what's for dinner is a new recipe from the Zoe cookbook. It's called smashed peas, smashed pea bowl. And that sounds really boring and lame. It's not. It's beautiful. It's got broccolini. It's got baby roasted tomatoes. It does have some sort of smashed. I can't remember what I smashed the peas with. Pickled onions. Like it's just this beautiful, colorful. It's like a nourish bowl, but it's doing things I've never done before. So I've never done smashed peas. So there we go.
Cool. Yeah, cool. Try new things. Good for you.
Try new things. How about you? What's for dinner?
Well, today actually, I'm. It's a fast day for me.
Okay.
And so if I can't make it, what's that?
Are you doing a 24-hour fast?
24-hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I don't make it, maybe there's a knock at your door.
Smashed peas.
Yeah.
That's what I'll have.
Yes. So, I usually try to fast, once or twice a month, and it's already the 23rd and I haven't gotten that in.
Yeah.
So here I am doing it today.
There we go. It was the right day for it. Okay.
Right day. That's right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. And until next time, go get out there, move your body.
Or explore why you're not.
Yes, exactly. Good. Thank you, Coach Rachel. That's so true. Get curious. Why am I not moving? Yeah.
It's an observation goal. How about that?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks so much.
Take care, everybody.
We'll talk next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.